Hello, I'm Alice Jaco. I really love board game and especially Euro games, and I will go to Essen Spiel this year. I really love this fair, and I will discover a lot of games there. But I'm preparing this fair by reading a lot of rules, learning a lot about a lot of games that will be released, especially from Euro games. So today I'm focusing on Civolution, which is a new civilization game by Stefan Feld. So this is a very rated game, heavy and long game. But each action is in fact quite simple, and it seems like you are doing a lot of development on your civilization in this game, and this is really attractive to me. Okay, so first what I usually do is that I'm taking this list of Essen Spiel release and I'm scrolling through them. I'm going to see what I'm interested about. When there is rule available, I read them and I share with you what I learned from them, and basically how to play, but not a detailed how to play. So today I will look about Civolution, as I said. This is a game by Stefan Feld. So Stefan Feld is the author of Castle of Burgundy, Bora Bora, Bonfire, a lot of other games. He's an author that I really I love his designs. It's published by Deep Print Game and distributed by Pegasus, so kind of some strong publisher too. So yeah. So this seems really attractive. The rules are available and they are quite agreeable, quite nice to read. And there is just one little disturbing thing, is that they have made boxes, thematic boxes, to be able to retrieve some rule point while playing. So at the beginning of the rules, they are explaining how this works, how the index works, to see rapidly into the pages. So this kind of can be an obstacle when first reading the rule, but I think everything is really clear and really well thought to be able to go back and forth in these rules, and everything is very illustrated and very well written. So for me, it was quite easy to read. The setting of the game seems kind of heavy, but it's like usual heavy for nowadays. A lot of games are quite open to install. Okay, so what is the game about? So this is a civilization game. Basically, you have a central board when your meeple will move, and sometimes attacks other, but attacks seems kind of light in this game. They will explore to reveal sites that will give bonuses or maluses to the surroundings, but also this doesn't seem like a very strongly random according to that game. The bonuses and can be important, but this is not like going through a new territory and you don't know if you survive. This is not this kind of game. So this is on the central board. Each territory have a type, so it can be forest or mountains or things. It doesn't change a lot. It just means what type of resources you will be able to find there, because you have resources on your board and you have actions. Nearly everything in this game, from resources to dice modifier and things like this, and food and money, are represented by the same player marker that you will distribute when you will win something. You are limited to 50, which doesn't seem like very restrictive, but if you really want to accumulate some things, at some point you will have to renounce to some of these things to have the others. Okay, so then the big part of the game will be on your board. Here are all the different actions, but on the middle of them you have your development board. So this is where, in this area, you will put all of your income chips. You have a lot of income chips, a lot of cards, a lot of specialization of your civilization and your objectives. Nearly everything you will develop will go into this board to give you some incomes or alternative action or bonuses when you do this and this action, and this is how you will specialize, and this will score points at the end of the game depending on how high it will be on these columns. Each column is specialized, so you can have very long column and very short column depending on the color and everything. There is also this one there. On the side on the board here, there is tracks that are for specialized area, culture, engineering, and things like this. You will go up this track, this will give you bonuses, and this will be a huge part of scoring. Because scoring, do we have it somewhere here that is scoring? Is working with 9 categories of scoring. So you have these 9 categories, which represents the different elements of the game. So you have the 5 tracks on the games that exist, and 4 categories. So the categories are how your genetic is modified. So if you have a lot of genetic modification because you are playing like a god, which is simulating a civilization, including the biologic development. The prosperity is how much you have food, campment, and everything to have a massive civilization with massive resources. You have meeple on the board, how much warrior you have, and you have the different kind of territories on the board that you are in. So these are the different categories on the game. 4 of them will be chosen randomly to be scored at the end of era 1, era 2, era 3 and 4, a little like in barrage or thing like this. So you will want to rush something at the beginning of the game, and then it won't matter that much. And 3 of them will be selected for the end game scoring. At the end of the game, you will score everything, in fact. So at the end of the game, all of this category will be scored, but the 3 selected categories will score double. So you may want to develop more in these ones. Okay, so the scoring is very Euro, clearly. There is a lot of income each turn and a heavy development part in this game. So how is the round going? So there is 4 eras in the game, and each era is divided into each player playing, and there is a lot of different action to do in this game, and I think that there is a lot of action per area, more than in most present day Euro games. It's not like very tense on the number of actions. I think you are doing a lot of things. So why that? Because in each eras, I don't know how you pronounce it in English. Each player will be able to do some action with their dice. You start with 6 dice and use them 2 by 2. And when you want and you have exhausted enough dice, you can do a reset, and the era will end when there is enough reset for all the players. So about twice more than the number of players, and then you will do a final turn of the table to do an extra action. So a lot of action is each turn. Okay, so what is happening in a round? So the main phase is the action phase. It's where you are doing a lot of things, and there is a little things going on outside of this. So the first phase is just renew cards and goals available on the board. Then you will have an extra find, which is an extra resources that you will win as you want, but from a territory you are present in, because I didn't show that on the board. Okay, so here you have resources. There is a lot of different resources, and each of these resources is associated with a kind of territory. That's where you can find them, and you have to be present where you win the extra bonus thing. Okay, so this is a small phase at the beginning of the game, then a big action phase, then a side phase. This is where you have bonuses and maluses according to what is surrounding you. Some of them will happen each turn. Then you have a feeding phase. You have to give food to all of your people on the board, or they will be exhausted. People on the board have in fact 2 ways of being. They can be standing up, so this is strong meeples, and they can be laid down on the board. This means that they are weak, so either they weren't fed, or they attack someone, so this makes you weak. You cannot move, you cannot do some of the actions, and if you are weakened and you are already weak, you will die. so the meeple will be removed from the board. So this is the aggression part of the game, which is kinda light. Okay, so you have to feed them. Then there will be an event phase. In fact, at the beginning of the game, you will reveal an event that will apply at the end of the round, which will modify the weather. That will give you either a bonus or a malus, depending on how extreme it is. And a bonus for the player who have the most of something, or for each of these things possessed by player, you will have points and resources and things like this. And then you have a big income phase when you are gaining all of your income from your board, and you are scoring the score for the era, as I already mentioned. Okay, so the big phase is the action phase, not surprisingly. So how does it work? You have this board, and on this board here are all the available actions. Every action presented in the same way. For example, you can use a 2 and a 5 to do this action. You will exhaust these dice, so you put them beside your board, and you will make this action, which is some new meeple available. Every action exists in level 1, 2 or 3, so this is a level 3. This is a good action. It was already upgraded several times. 2 times. So here what you are doing is that you have 2 new meeples appear on the board where you already have someone, and you can do a test. So there is some kind of test when you throw a dice and see if you success or not, to make a guy recover, so a guy becoming strong again. These white dice that allow you to activate your action, you start with 6 of them, you will exhaust them, and when you reset you will throw them again. You have a way, this kind of action, to win more dice, so you will take a die from the board, or if there is no more available, from the player who have the most of them. And the same goes for pink dice. So pink dice are fate dice. When you need to resolve a test, you will throw this white die and see if you succeed or not. It depends on you. You have a track, a track where you have a personal marker here. So this is a fate track, 4th track. If you have the 3rd step on this, every result from 1 to 3 is a success. If you throw several dice because you have obtained more, you will choose the best result. And if you succeed, you can do the thing that is indicated. If you're not, you cannot. Every die, action dice and fate dice, can be modified by ideas. Ideas are some kind of marker that can be here on your board, and you can spend them to do +1 or -1 on a die. And you can also loop from 6 to 1. So if you throw a 6 either as a fate die or an action die, you can transform into a 1. So this allows you quite a lot of flexibility. There is also some focus here that you can gain in some actions to have a bonus die at any time. A focus is like any die you want. You spend it and you pretend you have the dice you want. Only a white dice for this. Okay, so you select your action, you remove the die, and you accomplish the action. Then it's the next player's turn. So most of your actions seems kind of easy and short. Some of them are heavier. I will describe shortly each actions. There is a lot of them, but most of them are quite easy. The first one are the 6 on the bottom part of your board. So when you have doubles, double 1, double 2, double 3, double 4, etc., you can develop biologic features of your people. So better hands, better brain, better mouth, better language. It represents this kind of evolutions, and you will just put one of your marker there, and you will have this. This will enable you to unlock features. Features are on a display on the board. Do I have it somewhere? I don't really know where. Here, this is the yellow display there. You will need to have at least this many, for example, brains on your board. Then you will remove one to get the corresponding people amelioration, and you will put it on your grid. On your grid, I think I said it, you have 1 column for each type of things, except incomes that can go anywhere. Okay, So we already saw the reproduction action, procreation, so you win more meeples. So as I say, there is 3 levels. Here, level 1, you gain 1 meeple. Level 2, you gain 1 meeple and can do a test for another one. Level 3, you have 2 meeples and you can do a test to unweaken someone. This is the idea of what happened in level 2 or 3. Here you do tests when you progress. Sometimes it's the other way around. You need to succeed a test to do an extra action at first, but then it will be automatical. It really depends of which action, but basically it's more of the same thing and better of the same thing that you will have when you evolve your tile. So first action is migration. For 1 out of 3 you can do a migration. This is one guy on the board that will move to another region. In region, so as I said, everything is really well illustrated in the rules. You have this kind of spots which people have to go there when they are moving to the region. So either they go to a free spot and nothing more happen, except that there is one spot that rewards the people who are there with points when you take it. Or you can go to another guy spot. In this case you are weakened because you attacked him and he is he's moving to the wilderness, so outside of a spot. This is less good. He will have to be more fed at the end of the round if he did not move, but you are taking his spot. So this is the attack on the game. There is one little thing. When you are going to non-discovered region yet, you are the first one to go there, you will gain 1 extra resource, because each region is associated with 1 resources. Okay, here maybe we can see it. So this is a forest that produce oil. When someone go there, nothing happens, but when you will produce in this region, you will produce oil. Here it's a non-discovered region yet. When you will go there, you will flip this token and gain 1 of what is on the other side. So here the person who did that earn an oil at this point. When you earn something, you just put it on your board. Here you have 1 oil. I think no, sorry. Here you will put it in on the board, because resources can be either on the board, on the central board, or on your player board. I think this is visible there. No. I had a picture somewhere. Okay, maybe there. So here you can see that there is some, okay, it's very blurry, but you have 1 player marker there. So this is 1 resources of this region there, but it's not yet usable. You will have to transport it to your board. So this is coming to the next action, which is producing. Where is produce? Okay, production. So here is somewhere when you have a meeple, you can produce 2 resources. Then if you succeed a test, you can transport 1. When you produce where you are, you just design 1 territory where you have at least, you will show 1 territory where you have at least 1 guy, and put 1 marker there. And then you will be able to transport it. So transport is just take 1 resource from the board to your personal supply. So there is 2 kinds of action. First, the production, which might enable you to transport just a little. And there is the transport action, which will allow you to transport massively cubes from the board to your player board. Okay, so with better level you are doing more of them. Then you can hunt for food. So you need food at the end of the round to sustain your people, and this will give you some prosperity points when you are scoring prosperity. So you show a territory when you have at least 1 guy. Then you throw your fate die that you can modify as usual, and you will gain food according to a table that will depend on the type of territory and the result of your die. For example, for a result of 3 in water, you will win 4 food, and you will take these markers and put it on your board. Okay, So this is sustaining people. There is here an alternative on the module. Either you hunt or you unweaken some guy. I don't think this is a verb, but okay, it doesn't really matter. Then there is exploration. Exploration is for this kind of sites that you have on the board. As I said, you can have bonuses and maluses according to where they are. So on the board, where your people are here, you have this kind of octagon, which are in between territory. You can, with an explore action, design show what's one territory with unrevealed things. You will reveal them and score point for what is on them, and then this will give a permanent bonus or malus on the territory surrounding them. There is some kind of territories that are quite of important, which is building territories. It is where you are allowed to build status and settlements that will have some importance later in the game. Okay, but bonus and maluses, for example, you cannot build farm around them, you have to feed more the people around them, you can cross it to have a shortcut or thing like this. Okay, not very heavy things, but existing things. Okay, so, or you can throw dice to have a random resource as an alternative. So this will score you points immediately. Then you have the building, so I just evoked the buildings. On your board, I didn't show that at first. Here you have different kind of buildings. So you have 4 kind of buildings. You have settlements that you will need building site for them, and this will give you prosperity, and also this will give you income tiles. This is the main way to have incomes. You have farms that will allow you to feed less the people who are on this spot. Boats that will allow you to exploit the sea, and you have statues that will reward you with points at the end of each turn. You also have immediate bonuses when you build these things. So how does it work? You choose one type of building and you are building it, or you play a card. I will explain the card later. Building a farm is just you take one of your farm, you put it on a spot where you have somewhere, and then you have one less food to give each guy at the end of each turn. Each 1 or 2, depending if it's on the spot or on the wilderness. And this will immediately give you one idea, so one of the things that allow you to modify the dice. You can build a boat, which will allow you to exploit one of the sea surrounding one of your guys. The sea is like a wild territory, it seems kind of nice. You can build statues, so statue are just one of your common markers that you will put on a building ground. This will cost you 1 resource, and this will reward you with points at the end of the game according to the track. I will go about that later. And you can build settlements. You can only have 1 settlement per building site, and you can only have 2 of your things in each building site, so you have to explore more if you want to build more. This will cost you some resources, quite a lot, and you will build them. When you build them, you will win income ships, so you will choose one from a display on the board, and you will immediately gain what is on them, and then you will gain it again each end of the turn. For example, here in the rules, you have 1 income which give you 1 focus, so 1 extra wild die that you can use whenever you want. Some that will allow you to pass a test to be able to move up 1 track, one of the main tracks that will be scored during scoring. One that can allow you to draw cards or to have more maples or thing like this. You can always, if an income doesn't suit you, win points instead when you are supposed to gain what is on it. Okay, and you will put it on your board, and this will reward you points at the end of the game because you filled your player board. Okay, so these kind of things. You need to fill that, and this is one way of doing it. Okay, so this is income chips. Sometimes you win, you choose one and you win what is right on them. This is one of these symbols. And also when you are doing your 4th settlement, so the last one, you will be able to flip 1 stage to active. So at the end of the game, you will score points for each row more and more points the higher it is. But for the fourth and fifth rows, you will need to have activated these things. So you do that by going at the end of one of the development things. For example, doing the 4 settlements. You have 3 ways of developing them, and this will allow massive points if you have high columns. Maybe you don't want to develop them and do flatter columns. I think it depends on the game. Okay, so this is income chips and settlements, and then you will have cards. So cards will be the main development of your civilizations. You have them in 5 categories. Then they allow you to move up tracks according to their color, and sometimes a little otherwise, and they can give you sometimes permanent ability or 1 extra action available by activation. So, how are cards working? At the beginning of the game, you have a set of cards in your hand. For the first game, you have predetermined sets, and then for the other game, you can partially choose them to have some orientation, but you need to know the card first. And there is an action to draw new cards, because you will need more cards, I think, during the game. So, on these cards, is there a card example there? Yeah. You will have cost parts. So this is the cost of the card, and it depends where you are putting it. If you are putting it on the first row, it will only cost you 1 wood. Okay, so this is what is written there. If you are putting it on the second row, it will cost you 1 wood and I think one of this mineral thing, mushroom maybe. If you are putting it on the third row, you will need to have 1 wood and 1 ore and 3 agility. So this is the biologic development. And for each things you complete, you will have points. So the higher you put the things, the more things you need to have, but the more points you gain. And then this will give you some kind of bonuses. For example, this immediately when you place it, you move up 2 spots on the brown track and 1 on the purple track, so culture and engineering, I think. Okay, so this is example of cards, and some cards have other kind of things. Some have permanent ability and some are activatable activities. So sometimes there is this kind of symbols which allow you, when you have this kind of actions, to do what is written on them. For in your board, each column is associated with only 1 color, so once you started the blue here, all your blues should go there. There is 1 for yellow, 1 for objectives. I didn't talk about objectives yet, but income can go anywhere. Okay, so this is the idea. When you are doing better level things, you can have some reduction or be able to play 2 at the same turn. Okay, then there is planning. So planning will allow you to either place some marker to have the dice you choose later on the game. So you exchange the 2 dice you are playing for 2 markers for dice you choose later. Or this will enable you to install gold ships. So you will retrieve gold sometimes during the game, and then you will have 1 column dedicated to goals in your player board, and this enables you to move 1 accomplished goal from the one you have to your board. So for that you need either to spend something or to have something accumulated in your board, or some condition. Anyway, this is very like a failed game, and then you will remove this ship, you will put it somewhere on your board, and this will enable you to improve one of your actions. So going from level 1 to level 2 or level 2 to level 3 for one of your actions. So this will improve all of your further action if you manage to have the condition. And this will award you points for being in a column as everything in the game. Okay, so you can do more of them when you are going to higher level, of course. You can upgrade things, and that's it. I already talked, I think, about personal attribute when you are having the necessary features. And then you can draw cards. So there is one module which enable you to draw cards, either one of the visible card or one amongst two. And when you are in battle level, you can choose amongst more cards or gain more cards. There is also the fact that you can get more dice. I already talked about having more dice, I think. And some okay, so this is all of the declination here on the last column of the game. So you always need a 6. You can either install a card or do something. So this is moving a feature from another. This is gaining one of your incomes once. This is gaining ideas, building, or having more dice. You can do all of these things. Here we find the action. This is activate when activable card on your board. And I think we went through most of this action, or all of the action. Anyway, this is basically it for the possible actions. So everybody is doing this kind of action. You are doing one action, that is the next player doing one action, etc., etc. Most of the action seems kind of short. Then at some point you won't have any more dice, or you don't like the dice you have, you can do a reset. So to do a reset you need to have at most 3 dice available, and then you will move one of your 4 cursors down to show how it's working. And this is a little reminder that you will have a bonus thing at the end. So first you move the rune marker on the track to know if it's the end of the era or not. When it's at the last spot, which depends on the number of players, we finish the turn of the tables and do another turn. Then you will throw again all of your dice, and then you will win either one ID or one food. So this is a little bonus for resetting, which could help you later. And then you will start again. And I forgot to talk about this action, which is selling and buying. So you can sell and buy your resources. You can sell for both coin and points, and you can buy resources that you don't have access to otherwise, or that you have access to, but anyway, you can have some resources by buying and selling them to the bank. Okay, there is no player exchange in the game. Okay, so everybody is playing, and at some point there is be enough resets, and then we did another action. We will go to the scoring phase. So first there is some sites that activate at the end of the round. For example, one which require one food from all the surrounding areas. There will be points for if you are near to a mystical oak, thing like this. Then you will need to feed your meeple. So every meeple need to be fed once by one food. If they are in the wilderness, so somebody went into your spot and make you flee to the wilderness, you will need 2 foods. If you don't feed your meeple, they will weaken. So a strong meeple become a weak meeple, or a weak meeple will die. When someone will die, you can have a special action. You can go back on the fate track and save it from death, but you will lose this fate advancement. If you are farm, you feed 1 less food per meeple. Once you fed, you will have points for strong meeples, so the ones that you always have fed or that you at some point regenerated. So this will be 1 point by meeple on the board each turn. Then you go to the event phase. Event phase is adjusting the weather, so you know at the beginning of the turn how things are moving, and this will give you either an extra income or an extra activation card, or if the weather is too extreme, you will use 1 food or 1 meeple somewhere. Then you will resolve the event. For example, the highest on the government track will win 6 points and 3 resources, but it can also be that everyone with farm will win some things for each of his farm. Then you will do the area scoring. So this is where you are looking at the category of the turn, for example how much meeple you have, and this will give you points according of the current round. So some kind of timing like barrage in this. 9 categories are already more or less talked about it, so the different progress tracks that you will mainly get from the cards. Then for evolution, this is the biological features that you developed in your board. Prosperity is for having a lot of food, a lot of money, and to have settlements and connected resources. Population depends on the people on your board, either weak or strong, so you score them again. And expansion is for different type of territory on the board that you possess. Then you will move the starting player, okay, and everybody will do all of their income. So you start with 1, you can develop more when doing settlement, maybe at some other occasion, maybe with card, I don't really know. And you will do win things and sometimes do extra actions. You will score for each of your status. So on building side, you could build status, which gives you points at the end of the round, and this gives you points according to your fate. Your fate development. So the more you went up on this track, the most points you have. You remove a hunt token because each territory can only hunt once when you are getting food, and you will put reset marker again at the top of your board. So this is some light things, but mainly scoring. You play 4 eras like this, and then at the end of the game, you have the final scoring. So the final scoring is a little the same that in rune scoring. You will score all of the category of the game. Everything will be scored at the end of the game, but 3 of these categories will be scored double, because they've been selected at the start of the game. 2 categories won't be so there is 9 categories total. You are playing 4 during the end of the rune phase, and 3 at the end of the game will be doubled, and 2 won't be doubled at all, not during nor after the game. So you have to look for that and know what is efficient at what point. Okay, so that's basically it. Then you score, of course, all your development on your player board, which seems like the heart of the game. So for each row you will score points. The higher, the more points you have, but for the 5th column you need to have succeedly flip this tile to be able to score point on it, or it won't score anything. Okay, and some of you development award you points too, so you are scoring these points. It can be points for everything these columns, or points for other things. I think this is only for things in the columns. And that's it, so most points win. There is different kind of territories, and there is a solo game with an automata in front of you. I didn't read the details. So that's it for Civolution, a game which seems really nice. I really want to play it. It seems kind of long because the game will develop in a lot of action, but every action seems kind of short. So I think that the first game and the explanation will be kind of long, but after that it should be a long game, but maybe not an unfinishable game. I think that in maybe 4 hours or thing like this it should be done. I don't know. Last year in Essen they were doing 4 hours demo, and they didn't go up until the end of the game, but there was explanation, and it was in a fair setting and thing like this. There is here a reward, a reminder of the phases in the games. You have a personal player aid that will remind you every symbols what they mean, and yeah, this seems really nice. I think there is a lot of development included in this game. Of course, this is what you do on your player board, so you have to develop your civilization a lot. And this is really a kind of feeling I really like. A lot of small action is also kind of different of what is kind of current nowadays in Euro games. It really seems Euro. Okay, this is a civilization game, but how you score, how you develop really seems Euro for me. I didn't play the game, so I didn't read the cards. I don't know how strong the things are, but yeah, I guessing there is a lot of options. You can tweak fate and randomness in a lot of ways. This is a failed game. I really want to play it. This is one of the most awaited game for the fair, and I think there is something to it. All the mechanisms are quite simple. None of them are really whoa, I never saw that in any games, but I think that how you develop is really at the heart of this, and it seems to enable to you to do a lot of different things, a lot of variability from game to game. I need to play it to know it, but for me, how you score is very Euro, and this is something that I'm very attracted on. All the possible development is something that I really like, and the fact that you are personalized, you guy from what you are doing, and you have more and more specialties is really something that I'm waiting for. Okay, I didn't play the game, so I have nothing more to say. I just want to play it. So I will at some point. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe. This will help me, and I will do some other video of this kind for other games and up until the fair. See you later. Bye.